Nope, didn't start streaming apparently. Alrighty then, welcome along to round 3 in the People's Republic of China for the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship at Shanghai, located about 1,100 kilometers away from Beijing. Shanghai is the world's most popular city with the most population of 24 million people, but it also is the home for the Chinese Grand Prix since 2004, built by Harman Silker. The FIA Grade 1 circuit has been the seating capacity of 200,000 and is a host of F1 and WEC's Chinese Grand Prix. With 16 corners, the 5.451 kilometer, 3.388 mile circuit has 2 DRS zones out of turn 16 and turn 13, which turn 13 has a 1.2 kilometer straight that will precede it. Going into the heavy braking zone of turn 14, both opportunities will have a great chance to see some overtaking today. The drivers must negotiate 28 laps around the Shanghai International Circuit using the C4, C3, and C2 tires, with the C4 being the red wool tire, which is the fastest, but it has the highest degradation. The C3, which is the best race tire, and the medium yellow wool stripe tire. And the C2, which is the white hard tire, which has the slowest pace, but the highest when it comes to distance. So going through the Tier 2 Championship now, we have leading going into round 3, Taylor, with 30 points ahead of Ritzy, 28, Senkaizudo 25, Saxman 25, Zeno 25, DXT Ishigo 25, TTM Mitch 12, Furcho 10, Furby 8, and Sweller 8. That is your top 10 for the points in the Drivers' Championship, but Racing Point leads the Tier 2 Constructors' Championship at the moment with 50 points ahead of Red Bull with 35, Alfa Romeo with 32, Renault with 29, McLaren with 24. Great showing after last week for both Renault and McLaren. Haas with 12, Ferrari and AlphaTauri both tied at 8, and Merck and Williams both tied at 2. My name is Headcatcher alongside Echo. Let's get it going. So the pit strategy for this Grand Prix here for Tier 2 is going to be a one-stop regardless, but we have seen some people do some two-stops, so don't count that strategy out. Probably the most preferred strategy being the soft to hard. As you see, most of the drivers in Tier 2 has fitted the soft compound on, except for Killer and the Renault, and Senkaizudo in the Red Bull both have selected the mediums, but only Killer is out on track at the moment. You could see both drivers go, actually you could probably see all drivers go from a soft to a medium to a hard compound tire, except for Taylor, who's probably going to go on, hards to whatever he chooses, because probably. Hey man. Hey man, Pons was doing great. Yeah, that they are. Anyway, Skepping coming up to the line now What can he do? Alfa Romeo is only flying one flag. That's a 32.888 for the Alfa Romeo of Skeppy. The next one across the line is going to be the Merc of Smoking Ginger. He's going to start a flying lap in the Mercedes. Let's see what he can do. Obviously, Mercedes tied. Can't really see from this angle, but it kind of looks like he does have a little bit of damage. Nope, he's all good. Looks like he may have just pulled tires. Oh yeah, especially because how degradation works around this tire. I mean, on this track, it's just really high. You could do one lap around here and get around what 7, 8, 9% on the softs after one run. It's bad. On the outlap, you get about 3%. Killer! Ginger. So I was actually, yes he is. I was going to talk about this before Ginger set his lap. We have a new driver in the McLaren. We have Bobina, 29, in the McLaren, replacing Darth Cuban, who has dropped to Tier 2 after 2 races. Let's see what the McLaren teammate of Xenokid can do. Obviously, McLaren is sitting right now 24 points in the constructors. All of them has come from Xeno. Let's see if McLaren can flag, or I guess fly their flag. Let's get some points with their second car. Obviously, there's only 10 runners. Both Alpha Tauris are looking good for points, as they're both here. Both Racing Points are looking good for points, as they're both here. Skeppy's the only one of the Alfa Romeo. Ginger's the only Mercedes. Killer's the only Renault. Obviously, Bobina's only McLaren. Yes, he is. So I believe he's got some praise, Skippy. Yeah. Echo. Audio's not included. Good job. Yeah, Skeppy's like, your audio's not included. Anyway, Bobina goes to a 30.121 in provisional pole. Ginger P2, 30.520. Sorry for the technical difficulty with Echo. You should be able to hear him now. You missed his YouTuber commentary pretty much.
Hey, leave me alone with my YouTuber commentary. I had to get prepared.
Hey man, I'm not dashing it. Quite enjoyed it.
Oh
like,
man,
you over here let's play like an Arabs My Team episode.
something like that. I'm going for it. Unsighted port. I think he's just putting on a new set of sauce, so he's gonna take it a little bit more easier this time. Going around the track on his outlap, as we see, yeah, he's pretty much coasting. Kind of the same average percentage that you can get on these sauce, like I said earlier. Apparently, my mic was not included. My stupid mistake. You want every single percent on the sauce, so you don't want to really be pushing on the outlap. This track will heat up your sauce and will eat up your sauce tires. It is not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. So we'll see how these drivers take advantage of the high wear with the softs. Trying to see, we could possibly see a lot of cars diving into the pits lap 4, 5, 6, 7. That is your pit window from 4 to 7. But on laps 4 to 5, it is really, really cautious. You have to take those hards quite a long while, about 24, 25 laps. Let's see how they can do it, but a lot of drivers are selecting the soft as Unsighted starts his flying lap in the Alpha Tauri.
Alright, we see Unsighted Port starts his lap going into the first turn, just down to 6th gear. 3rd gear into the 2nd turn, 2nd gear. Gets on the curve a little bit, goes into turn 3. Turn 4 coming out. It's just up, it's Tier 5, let's go. Killer gets out of the way. He comes down to turn 7. Going down to third gear. Normally, some people want to take that in second gear, but he takes it third and he gets purple second first. Tight around the left-hander. Going to the right. Just down to 5. It's a good exit, but still keeps it in 4th gear. Normally, you want to go in 3rd gear, but I guess he has a different preference in that one. Comes out to the sharpest turn of the track. Gear 3. Okay, what is with his gear? He's taking unnormal gears that I normally see from people.
You realize different drivers have what we call different preferences, Echo.
Yeah,
there's not one driving style. You realize that, mate.
But yeah,
you can watch me. I'm not the same.
We didn't mention that there's only 10 drivers for Tier 2. This is not a good sight. Everybody here is going to get a point at least if they finish the race. But judging by the places of all these guys that are in here for China, as we see an unsighted port. Oh my God, a 29.9. Let me step back. You got it, bro. My bad for judging your gear shifting. You got it.
Unsighted. His provisional pole right now, 7 minutes left in the session. Killer on the soft side this time. He set his first lap on the mediums. Speaking of the mediums, DXC Ishigo in the Racing Point. He's going to go fit on the medium compound. A little bit of controversy from last week's Grand Prix at Vietnam. Both him and Skeppy did not start on the right tire compound after a lobby restart. Both drivers have not gotten any reprimands from that. Let's just got to keep an eye on that. So they're counting their lucky stars. Obviously, Skeppy didn't really rebound too well for that race, ending in a DNF. But let's see how they go on through China. As going through, I believe the first one across the line is going to be Ginger, as he's going to start another flying lap. Mercedes is going to actually be the first one across the line. But Williams going through into turn 14 now, down the 1.2-kilometer back straightaway. Let's see what he can do with those mediums.
Yes, you know, one of the racing points has already retired table plane. He might be starting on the hards, and Ichigo is going to be trying to set a time on the mediums as he's coming around the long right-hander. He's just now getting onto the best streak to start to get ready to start his lap as well. As we see, Smoking Ginger just started his laps along with Mercedes. Smoking Ginger is on the softs, and Mercedes is also on the mediums. Actually, he's on his one lap mediums already. So he's just
he set a 31.383 on his flying lap. Killer aborts his flying lap. We'll see what the Alpha Tower can do. He's also going to go into the pits as well. Ishigo, though, is going to go in almost no time. He goes to P6, 31.718 for the Racing Point.
Nice little lap by Ichigo. Considering he's on mediums, he's still sitting right there, right within the sight of the top 5. Not too far off of Killer, actually. He's only, 15 hundredths.
15 100ths of a second.
So I think Ichigo might actually go for that because he's already up 700s on his next lap.
He does usually tend to do multiple runs on those mediums, which is maybe not the best strategy here at a track like China, but we'll see how he can do because obviously whatever works for him works for him. That's best. You want to get the most time out of the car as the strategy you want to go on. Right now, Ginger on the softs on the second run, going through turn 14.
Ichigo gets a little wobbly. Oh, man. What could have been a top 5 in the mediums gets a little wobbly on that turn. Does not look good. He's gonna back off. Retired. That's a little early.
Yes, the pit lane. I believe that is the max he can get out of his Renault. Facetas works his lap. Ginger works his lap after the spin. That means that X1 track Ichigo, which I'm pretty sure you said, backed off of his lap regardless. So we may have a little bit of a downtime until we go on to the final of the day. Right now the guys on mediums. Facetas, obviously Ishigo. Skeppy's now fitted the mediums. Kaizuro and Sweller have both not set times, but they have both the mediums fitted at the moment. Taylor has not set a lap. He's going to start from P8 at the moment if no one else sets a lap underneath him, above him. Killer, Smoking Ginger, Movina, and Unsighted Port all on the soft compounder tire. We'll see how these strategies work out. Obviously, all going to pretty much end up on the mediums or the hards, regardless. So, let's see how it plays out. It's going to be a long race, 28 laps. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, long race, 28 laps, only 10 cars though. So do you think they're going to keep it together, or do you think we're going to have a spread out field? more like my Le Mans thing. It's gonna be so like slow. Won't have much to talk about. Or
Nah, I mean, it really depends, because I think they'll have two different ways of it. One, you'll have guys playing it the Scott Dixon mentality of, I'm just here to get points. I don't really care.
right,
Because, I mean, everyone's going to get points. Or
Right.
you're going to have guys doing the mentality of, there's nothing to lose. Even if I crash out, I mean, I'm still finished top 10.
Skippy.
You don't want to crash out. But,
Skippy.
wow.
He's gonna get me later, but still, I'm getting on Skippy about that because he needs to get some points. He's too quick to not be getting some points right now. Some solid points. He's in a prime position
Apparently
to
your
get some.
mic is really choppy, by the way. I don't know what you can do to try to fix that, but
How's my mic choppy? That's weird.
I have no idea. Alright, let us know now if it should be fine. I can...
Testing. Apparently it's still choppy. What the heck? That's weird.
Oh, Skeppy!
Skeppy. He is not happy.
Yeah, it's still choppy. I don't know what else you can really do. That's just really unfortunate for Skeppy. About to start his flying lap and final run on the mediums, and it invalidated the final corner. He could possibly see if he can try to go and start on those mediums regardless. He may have enough fuel. I'm not really sure how much he's put in the car for that. The next one going to be across the line would be the McLaren of Bobina and going into turn 14 now. Soft compound fitted. We could see a possible pole challenge from the McLaren. We had a McLaren on pole last week at Vietnam and the streets of Hanoi. Will it be 2 for 2 in McLaren's pole sitting? Right now they would have the most. Right now Haas and McLaren both have a pole. Bobina will start the flying lap for McLaren. The next one behind will probably be, that is going to be, I think, unsighted. No, it's actually going to be Sweller. He's now out of the pit lane, and he's going to start his flying lap on the medium compounded tire. We'll see what he can do. At the moment, he has some good points, tied for 9th. We'll see if he can improve on that. The Racing Point of Ishigo, he's on the softs this time. He's going to see if he can try to go for pole. He got pretty close. Got P3, but had a mistake coming out into his out lap at Vietnam that pretty much halted his challenge for pole. Can he rebound and see what he can do from there? We have Shinkai Zudo, who was looking really strong through Bahrain, didn't show up to Vietnam. We'll see what he can do. Right now, he is P3 in the championship. He's actually the second highest in the field when it comes to championship. Obviously, Taylor, the championship leader after the 2 consecutive podiums. We have, let's see, who's the next one? The line is going to be Ginger to start his out lap, or start a flying lap on the mediums. He's actually decided to go see if he can do a medium kind of strategy. He's let Kaizudo by in the Red Bull. But we're all looking right here, though. The McLaren of Bobina going into turn 14. The laps begin. Original pole, 29.923, set by unsighted port. Bobina is 2/10 off of that roughly around turn 16 now in the McLaren. Is it provisional pole? No, it's not. 30.027. Not provisional pole.
Sweller
comes around the final corner.
Gets up to speed 4 with a 30.7. Beautiful lap by Sweller. He is the top of the medium runners right now with 0 lap on those mediums, so he has the freshest mediums on the grid. Beautiful sitting for Sweller as Smoking Ginger jumps him to sell it down to P5. Smoking Ginger comes down with 30.5. Oh, and he spins! Smoking Ginger spins on those mediums.
No. I think his best time is on the... Yes, it is. Ginger will be starting on the softs. Around the final corner for Skeppy. Is he going to make it? Looks like he's on a push lap. He's P8 the moment. He stays P8, 32.0. Looks like he was not able to improve on his time around... I believe that's actually an AlphaTauri. Sweller's off, but he's already done his flying lap. The only one has not done their flying lap. Kaizudo going in down the back straightaway now into turn 14, the hairpin. We'll see. We have 3 more corners to go. Technically 2, as turn 15 is a little kink coming out of 14. Oh, way too deep on the brakes.
goes a little
He has 2
wide.
corners, now 1. P10. He's P2 in the championship. Taylor's right now ahead of him. He's going to set a lap. What will it be? P10, he goes up to P5. Behind Smoking Ginger with a 30.676. That is going to be, I believe, unsighted. He's on provisional pole at the moment. He's a 29.923. Can he go faster? He goes even faster. A 29.770. Ishigo goes even faster. Beats Bobina by 9 1/1000ths of a second to get P2. But 2 laps on those softs. That's going to hurt him in the race.
Well, Bina has dropped out of their lap, so they've taken their P3. It's going to be really good for them. As the top 4 are all mediums. And Saint Kazuo has solidified himself as the top runner on medium compound tires. As we see, no, that's actually pretty much it, yeah. Everyone's done.
Yep. That is it from round 3 qualifying here at Shanghai for BRL Season 6 of the Tier 2 Championship. Unsighted Port is on pole with DXD Ishigo. Next to him on the front row of the grid, Bobina on their debut start will get P3. Ginger will be alongside the McLaren.
I remember my debut start with McLaren in China. First podium, too. So, Bobina, I'm rooting for you.
Like you said, Shinkaizuro, the right now 3rd in the championship. He is the fastest medium runner at the moment. Swellerstein in P6. He's tied for 9th in the championship. He's going to get some good points today. How well can he do? Vasadis, P7. He's gotten P10. 2 races in a row. Can he get better than that? Killer, P8 at the moment in the Renault. He's going to start alongside BRL Skeppy. I'm sorry, no, he's not. He's going to start beside Vasadis. I have the dumb. Skeppy will be P9 with Taylor, once again not setting a lap in qualifying, trying to go for a reverse strategy in P10.
Taylor, once again, trying to go for a reverse strategy. It's paid out for the first 2 races of this season. So, 3 cars in a row? Or will he actually get shut down? Okay,
Looks like the race is dry.
Really choppy, dude. I don't like this. Why is it choppy?
No idea. We'll just do the best we can. Well, I was going to say we should go look at our friend, the race director, but literally everyone is in the top 10. So the only person we would go is look at our friend, the race director, for would be Taylor. So is he going to start on the mediums or is he going to start on the hards?
More likely the hards.
Softs. Probably the hards. Yep, the hearts.
Yep, there he goes. He just put something in the hearts.
Let's go through, though, because going in lap 1 is going to be a big, big thing to happen, is you're not going to see many... I was going to say you're not going to see many overtakes, but, well, let's just walk through the formation lap right here and see exactly why.
Actually, you do that and invite me back to the park and see the FX is it.
Okay, yeah. So going through into turn 1, obviously look at the... kind of shallows up as I get Echo back in here. It is not necessarily... it's one long continuous corner from 1 to 2, now down into 3, which is a little kink right here to 4. Then you go up the gears through this kink, flat, obviously, through the right-hander in 5, down to the braking zone in turn 6, where you saw a double McLaren catastrophe in 2019, the last time the Formula 1 circuit was raced upon by these F1 cars. Let's go and add some of this stuff up. Here we go. Then going into this flat left, which may not be flat for some of the drivers in the race due to dirty air or maybe even setup or tire restraints. It's going through into this right, which is very tricky because you have to set it up for the left. The double left is quite difficult indeed for traction and for a little bit of understeer going through now into that little short chute. Going in now into turn 10. Going through turn 10, you have this little mini straightaway. Going into turn 11, as you see all the drivers trying to get temperature in those tires. Going into turn 11 is a good place for an overtake, but not exactly a good place to try to, I don't know, fight around the outside going into turn 12 here. Turn 12 is a very, very difficult corner. Now into turn 13, which is most likely flat unless you cannot get the power down through 12 early enough, as you go on the 1.2 kilometer back straightaway, which is the DRS at full swing. The overtake is probably going to be deployed here, and the rich mix is probably going to be flowing through the back of every Formula One car on this straightaway. Down into turn 14, it's going to be a great chance to go look through and who can get late on the brakes. Take a look at some of the guys like maybe Taylor, maybe Skeppy, maybe Vasedas going down in the brakes. Late on the brakes. Oh, almost have a collision on the formation lap as Ginger. Actually, Ginger does have a collision. Ginger and Kaizudo. Ginger gets disqualified from the formation lap, but obviously it's not going to really affect him that much as we're only a corner away from the grid. But look, here we go. I was going to say, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Here we go then. The lights are on. The 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go here at China. Great start, I believe, initially from DXT. Yes, he is. He's already alongside. And now ahead of the Alpha Tauri of Unsighted going into turn 1. Unsighted goes a little bit deep, trying to go around the cut back around the outside of the racing point of DXT going in. DXT will hold him off, cover him off into turn 2. DXT will stay ahead around the outside, though. Here comes Bobino trying to find it. Nothing can be done there. Look at Kazito. Already he's gone up to P4. A bad start from Ginger down to P10 already. Taylor's up to 8. He's trying to get down here. Down into turn 6, here we go, around the outside looking, Unsighted can't get it. DXT a little bit struggling for traction going into turn 7, but the racing point will stay ahead of the Alpha Tauri going through the field. I believe there's a fight going on. Nope, everyone's got to sort it out. Oh, contact. Bobina's been spun around. It's Cusito. No damage, I don't think, to either of them as they go through, but that drops them both down places from about 3rd and 4th to about 5th and 6th, respectively. Facedas is down up to 4th now with the Alpha Tauri boys, 2-3. Sweller on the mediums and Unsighted on the softs. Unsighted now to look into the back of the racing point of DXT. DXT goes defensive down into turn 14. Late on the brakes of the Alpha Tauri, trying to go for the cutback. What a move! What a great move. We're going through. Oh, that's sad. I was about to go through. We'll just go through the order anyway. Going through after one lap, going through turn 7 now. DXT leads Unsighted, leads Sweller, leads Vasedas, leads Kazuto, leads Bobina, leads Killer, Skeppy. Taylor up 1 position since lap 1 past Ginger. Ginger lost quite a lot of spots, actually. Goes down 6. He started P4. See what he can do on rebound from those soft compound tires. Right now our leader, DXT Ishigo, being hounded by Unsighted. 2/10 is the gap between those two drivers, both on the softs. Then you have a second gap to the guy in 3rd, Sweller, on the medium compounded tire. Let's see what he can do there. But look at Skeppy and Killer. They're still kind of close. Not really. The standings are just not up to it. Well, them two fighting has actually put Sweller right on the back of the racing point, and his teammate, DXT on the grass a little bit. That kind of compromises his line through turn 1, going into 2, trying to find the best way around to keep the Alpha Tauri at bay. But look at this, though. Kaizudo is not that far behind. Skeppy gets past Killer going into turn 2, and the Alfa Romeo is up to P7. That's going to promote him one further up. Bobina's going to have next up ahead of him. But look at the Red Bull. The Red Bull's trying to hound on the back of the Alpha Tauri as Sweller. Can they possibly put pressure on those two guys up front? Because obviously they're on the medium compound tire. They're better at this point in the stage of the race because the softs are already probably dead. Well, DRS, the drag reduction system, has been activated this lap. So now we have the rear wing of the car in front being, or in the car behind being deployed. If you're within 1 second of the car in front, look at these guys trying to break the slipstream in tow going into turn 14. Late on the brakes, missing the braking point. That's Mercedes down into turn 14. Has to lose a position. That's Bobina pass. Skeppy pass. Rejoins behind the Alfa Romeo and in front of Killer. So that puts him down a couple positions, down from 5th to 7th. We'll see what the Williams will do. He's on those mediums. He's going to have a lot of time to rebound. Still 24 laps to go.
I'm gonna keep going because I'm still trying to figure this out. Because apparently my mic is still doing that little choppy crap.
Going through, these guys are still kind of close up front. Sweller still trying to get as close as he can and put pressure to the back of the Racing Point of DXD Ishigo. Obviously, he's not too far away from the guy in front, unsighted Port himself. Late on the brakes from Kaizudo, almost run into the back of Sweller, but they do not make contact going into turn 7 now. That's Taylor getting past. Speaking of the Racing Point, his teammate Taylor gets up on the hard compound tire, up to P8 past Killer. That's a car around that is unsighted. Unsighted spins from the lead from 1st to 10th. I don't think there's any damage on the AlphaTauri, but he has now a long road ahead of him. DXD Ishigo promoted the race lead once more.
And
now
Unsighted
he has a
spins
separate
again.
AlphaTauri.
Unsighted has spun again. Those rear tires Those rear tires gotta be cooked for Unsighted. He is not happy right now. As he's trying to nurse those tires back into the right temperature, but oh man, he's gonna have to come in the pits now. He can't keep going on those softs.
Here comes Sweller and DXD. Defense for the Racing Point around the outside, like his teammate Unsighted trying to go for it, but this time it's Sweller. Sweller kind of has to stay behind the rear wing of the Racing Point going into the final corner. Late on the brakes for the AlphaTauri, going to be a little bit hampered through his line. Sweller's going to still try to go for it. He's looking. He still has the DRS overtake a little bit activated. He's going to go around the outside, stays behind the Racing Point of Ishigo on those soft compound tires. But look, here comes now the Red Bull of Kaizudo. He's going to try to go around the outside of turn 3 here. He's going to make it work. On the traction, it looks like a little bit of a better move going through. I mean, like in most racing, you have to get past the guy in front of you before they pass you. So Kaizudo is now up to P2, trying to go and attack the Racing Point of DXD. Well, this is going to be great news for the likes of Kaizudo as well, and all the medium runners, because all the medium runners, except for Bobina and DXD, are within, actually, I guess, fighting distance of each other. Especially good news for Taylor.
As we see another NBT join in. Speaking of Taylor, he's actually up into P7. He's not too far off from these front guys, so he's looking very good at the start of this race. There's only been 5 laps, and he's just right on the back of the top 6 drivers. Technically top 4, because the 2 softs are going to have to go into the pit soon.
Here comes Kaizudo on Ishigo. Kaizudo on the button. He goes to the right-hand side of the Racing Point. The Racing Point squeezes him all the way to the right side, almost in the grass. Goes the Red Bull down into turn 14. Late on the brakes from the Racing Point, but Kaizudo has to give way. Actually, DXD has to give way going off the track and into P2. Don't look now. Sweller's going to try to go for it once again. Late on the brakes for the AlphaTauri like it was the lap before. This time from 1st. It is now from 3rd and trying to fight to 2nd for the AlphaTauri as Kaizudo is now getting away.
Going around the turn 1 and turn 2, but Mercedes might be getting a little down skating. No, he does not. But we see Bovina is trying to get a little down on Sweller, but Sweller cuts that off. Sweller needs to get around Ichigo and not let Kaizudo take off, because Kaizudo will take off and check out from his pack, as he's done already in Bahrain. So he's going to be looking to do that in China. And if you lose somebody in China, it's going to be hard to catch up back to him. As we see Smoking Jada comes into the pit for his fresh mediums. He's the first guy on this grid of 10 cars.
Unsighted pitted.
That's one. But Ginger pitted. Yeah, Ginger pitted as well.
Yeah, unsighted pitted a lap prior onto the hard compound tire. Ginger goes and probably to a committed 2-stop because the mediums cannot make it 22 laps, so he's probably going for another set of medium. As we look on board with Bobino's McLaren, trying to go fight and catch up to these two in front. Just look at the left front tire. Look at the gray area. As you can see, the wear of the McLaren's tires as he's now on the back foot. That's the Alfa Romeo. Look at the ERS difference between Bobina and Skeppy. Skeppy just doesn't seem to have it. And the Alfa Romeo trying with DRS. Bobina also with DRS. Nothing can be done. But look at these two up front. Ishigo and Sweller once more around the outside of turn 14, trying to go for it. But this time, he sticks around there. Sweller's going to try to go for it down into turn 16. Can he try to go for it? 2x2 once more in the corner. Dixie goes to the pits. So does Bobino in the McLaren. Both, and I think that's, yep, that is all the soft runners now off into the pit lane. Now we have a 6-car, actually it's a 6-car
train. But yet, like I just said, Sinkazoo is already checking out. He is 3.4 seconds ahead of the pack. As we see, Skeppy goes inside of Mercedes. He cannot get the move done as Mercedes keeps P3. Skeppy is looking for another move to get around him. He's getting antsy up there, but he can't get too antsy because Taylor Clan on the hard compound tires is right behind him. Killer gets a little wobbly on the exit of turn 5. Hopefully he's going to be good and not make too many mistakes because he needs to stay up here. He cannot afford to lose this whole pack. He is right there with him. Bobina
a little wobble from Skeppy. That's going to put Taylor right on the back foot of the Alfa Romeo. He's not going to go for the move down into turn 11, now into turn 12. But that actually puts him right up into the back wing and prime opportunity for the Racing Point. Look at all the ERS he has that he can deploy at any moment that he wishes. Oh, on the overtake button, speaking of deployment, he's going to try to go and get up to the back of the Alfa Romeo of Skeppy. On the DRS, on the button, deploys the button off of overtake, and Skeppy wants to finish. I think that's a couple moves, but you know what, it wasn't alongside, so it's fine. Ooh, a little bit of a lockup from Mercedes. He goes a little bit wide. Look at Taylor. He's now right up to the back of the Alfa Romeo of Skeppy, trying to go down into turn 1. Is he going to try to go for the move? No, too far back. He's trying to go around the outside, like we saw earlier. That is Bobina and Ishigo fighting down for P7. These both drivers have pitted. They're in the fight. They're provisional leading at the moment because they have made their stock credit. Everyone else hasn't. But they're right now possibly fighting for that P3, P2 position. Obviously, both these drivers had the softs. This is going to be a really disadvantage in terms of strategy. We'll see how it really works. These drivers could possibly stay ahead and find that gap. Right now, they're 20 seconds behind the ones that can go in P6. As for the closest battles, and actually the closest battle at the moment actually is with Ishigo and Bobina, but we'll kind of keep an eye on this pack here, as we have 2nd through 6 still within DRS free roll of each other. All of them is on the medium compounded tire, except for Taylor, P5 at the Racing Point. Taylor has quite the reputation now in Tier 2, obviously going from pretty much last almost every race, not qualifying, starting on the hard compounded tire, doing the reverse strategy. It has worked well for him so far this season. He's gotten a P3 at Bahrain. He's gotten a P3 at Hanoi. Let's see what he can do now in China. We're sitting P5 and pretty high.
Jeez, man.
For those hards. Let's see what he can do.
The sky is starting to get a little bit dark. Could we possibly get some late rain? It's looking a bit dark, you know, compared to earlier.
It is quite overcast, indeed.
But, like I was saying earlier, I think the pit window is actually 27,
oh,
28
what
seconds.
Happened there? Sweller's off the track. He just went straight.
He locked up, or did he phone somebody?
No, he didn't lock up. He just went straight. It looked like something may have disconnected. There's some kind of mechanical problem, because that didn't look good at all. That didn't look like a driver mistake. I mean, he just went straight off.
Yo,
puncture? It's raining.
We got rain.
Does he have a puncture or something?
I don't think so.
I have no idea what the problem is, but yeah, there is a little bit of rain. You see on the halo and dripping down throughout the cockpit of these drivers now. battling as Facetas is up to P2, Skeppy P3 in the podium positions. By the way, this rain is going to definitely hurt the likes of Bobina, Ishigo, Ginger, Unsighted, and definitely Taylor.
Oh, that's right. The horse doesn't have that much traction in the way.
That, and also if it goes dry, if it goes dry, like if we have to go to inters at one point and go back, maybe with 1 or 2 laps, right? And he has to go, and he's forced onto those hards. They're gonna be warm. He doesn't have fresh tires, which obviously won't contest to that because I'm pretty sure the mediums can make it if the rain set does occur. At the moment, it doesn't look like the rain is even light enough. Skeppy goes in.
Into the pits. Is he already thinking ahead?
Don't think it's definitely not wet enough for inters. Not even close.
So why would he? Really?
Maybe the forecast shows that this rain is going to stay with them. But the Alfa Romeo is into the pit lane now. He gets passed by Sweller. He goes on to another set of mediums, I think that is. No, it's hard.
No, he's going on hard.
It is forecasted. Maybe it's forecasted that the rain will stay, but it's still the dry tires that are beneficial as Ishigo and Bobina both get past the Alfa Romeo of Skeppy into P6, P7 respectively. Skeppy comes out in front of Ginger and Unsighted. Ginger and Unsighted, both of them had a really just unfortunate showing in the first stint, and well, obviously Ginger with the poor start, and I'm guessing, I'm not really sure exactly how, and Unsighted with the spin from the lead of the race. So that's really not helped his case at all, but look, actually, yeah, look at the water on the camera.
Yeah, this rain is definitely going to get harder and harder, so the interest should be coming in soon. DRS should be deactivated, but Sinkazoo is already 4 seconds ahead of Facetas. Taylor Clinton is second behind Facetas, but Taylor might be the one who will be struggling the most, to be honest, because he is on the hard compound tires. Unless he pits this lap, this or the next lap, I can see DRS being deactivated because that rain is getting harder and harder each lap, or each sector, to be honest.
Definitely getting, obviously you can see the rain on the camera lens is definitely getting quite damp. It's actually, if you look back to last season in Tier 2, it is quite the opposite of actually what happened so far in this race. Look at DXC. DXC go down the inside of Bobina, trying to go for a move. That was late. Almost forced off the track, kind of turn out of it. Bobina lets the position go, and DXC up to P6, but that actually puts Skeppy right on the back, the rear wing of the McLaren. Speaking of Skeppy, he's now going to get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings run wide at the turn 16 corner. So that's really going to hamper him in terms of time penalties as well going through the rest of the race. But like I was saying, last season, actually he's going for a move. Turn 2, Skeppy just won't let me talk, will he? Around the outside of turn 3. Bobina looks like he's struggling a bit on the hards on the wet compound, or the wet surface of the track, and goes up. Skeppy with a little bit of traction and going through turn 5 into turn 6. Looks like he has the move. Look a little favorable to him, and he has it done. Let's look at Bobina on the exit. Yes, he stays through, and Skeppy's up to P7. Am I getting the opportunity to talk this? Yeah, I will. Okay. No, I won't. Skeppy's trying to attack someone else. Skeppy right now really close to the back of Ishigo. Oh, it looks like the weather's bad. The track's bad.
Yeah, the track's
there we go.
bad. Ishigo's losing itself.
I'm thinking it's getting disabled soon. Skeppy in the turn. Oh, Skeppy looks like a little bit deep. He stays on the track going through turn 12 now.
Look at these guys tiptoeing around 12 and 13. They're tiptoeing on those hards around 12 and 13. You can definitely tell they are. Ichigo gets the DRS. Oh, whoa.
Yellow flag, that is Killer.
Killer. Why did we get a yellow flag there?
Did he?
I think he did.
Did he hit the wall? Intermediates. The intermediate tire. So it is wet enough. They're going on to the inners.
Killer's the first one to bite onto the inners.
I don't think it was a... But we will not know for sure until race control deactivates the drag reduction system. At the moment, it's forecast. I mean, I think they pretty much have, but I haven't seen anything about it being disabled. Obviously, if the strategy pops up that the intermediate tires are boxed on, I would kind of hope the DRS is disabled.
I would hate for that to be a bug. If it's raining, DRS is still.
DRS enabled.
Oh my god.
Going through turn 13, you're power sliding. He's like, all right, activate the DRS. Have fun. Dukes of Hazzard this.
Especially going down towards turn 14, that sharp hairpin.
Oh, you won't stop. You will not
You're
stop.
going straight on.
You're hitting the brakes and you're Sebastian Buemi into the wall. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Look at this though. With all the tires and all the people, all the tires that everyone's on, Killer is going to gain a significant amount of time, I think.
Maybe.
I mean, but his inners has to get up to temperature. Obviously, it's the crossover period.
It's definitely
We're going to see who dives into the pits. Kaizuro stays. Facetus comes in.
Taylor goes in.
Taylor goes in with them.
So Kaizuro is still staying down. He's still taking a risk. Oh my god, Sweller is sliding across turn 14. He just lost the back end over there.
Grip.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's biting the bullet.
He's definitely going in.
Down to Skeppy, Bobina, and DXD Ishigo. We'll see what those three will do. Because obviously, if you pit in, obviously a lot of the guys in front are pitting in. Are they all going in? Looks like Skeppy goes in.
Ichigo,
all three of them go in.
And Killer
though.
Just saying thank you for the meal. He's gonna take all these positions from these guys. Should be jumping up all the way to P4. Yeah. Nice.
From 8th to 4th. Oh, yellow flag. That is also Ginger. Did he hit the wall?
Okay, what is with the yellow flags to the pits? That's the second
No
one we
idea.
got. Huh.
Well, this one he was ghosted, so. No, he didn't hit the wall.
Well, almost a whole grid is.
Oh, he's been held. He hasn't been held. He just got unsafe release. Nice. But speaking of, yeah, look at this though. Look at Kaizuro. Look how cautious he's having to be. He's only just now up in 5th gear.
Yeah, but Facetus is not really gaining much on him. That's 27 seconds. I don't think that's gonna be much. He's probably gonna just gonna be coming out of the pits when Facetus and Taylor are gonna be right there coming down the front straight. So we could see the battle between these three.
I'm saying it now. The likes of Ishigo and Taylor and Skeppy, I know, are decent in the rain. So if it comes down to it, if there is any safety cars period, and these guys get bunched up and it rains the whole way around, we could possibly see, as like Kaizuro goes into the box, we could possibly see a white. There it is.
There it is.
So wow. So they actually did have DRS with intermediate tires. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Oh man.
I mean, you can't get any worse than that. Kaizuro is coming out of the pit lane now. Yes, he is significantly ahead of him.
But now they're within 2.5 seconds.
So it's about, they gained about 1.5 or so. But still, that's not enough. I mean,
so it's about a 25-second gap for the pits.
Especially because of all the time that Kaizuro lost to the medium tires compared to the intermediates. But I want to point this out, by the way. Taylor right now is in the opportunity and in the window for a 3rd consecutive podium. However, I don't think he'll actually retain the championship lead at this rate. Because Kaizuro, if he continues with his going through, is actually going to look the fastest lap real quick. Kaizuro also has the fastest lap. And if it stays wet the entire race, that's going to go to him.
But you also got to think about it.
Who
has a wet setup though? Who actually prepared for this?
Yeah, but you're not going to get a 34 on the wets.
I mean, it looks like these guys
like
are more prepared than
46, 45, 42.
Kaizuro is actually nursing his tires. He just came up his, yeah, but he's nursing his tires. He doesn't have that much grip because he almost cut the corner on turn 11.
Gap to leader here, as you see, there's quite a kerfuffle going on between Bobina and DXD. Coming lap 17 seconds between those two drivers. Taylor behind Facetus, obviously trying to get around that Williams. Williams and the constructors hasn't really got that well of finishes. Obviously 2 points to their name, both by Facetus, and see what he can do. He's obviously in a great opportunity now, P2, with about 14 or so laps to go here in Shanghai. Goes defensive through 1, trying to figure it out, but obviously the wet line is probably going to be a little bit more what Taylor's doing. Taylor's trying to cut it back. He's going to look down the inside. Can he get it? Yes, he has his nose there. He's alongside.
He's there.
On the apex.
Come on, Mercedes,
On
he's
the
there.
outside.
He's gonna keep it. Oh, he gets a little sideways. They both get a little more wobbly trying to get the traction.
Oh, look at the look at the traction.
Oh.
Around the outside, and now of turn 6. Mercedes will still try to fight it, squeezing him to the exit curb, trying to get him on that exit curb to lose him traction. Going into turn 7, it should be flat in the dry, but it's not even close in the wet. And Taylor gets up into P2. But will Mercedes try to fight back? Yes, he will. He'll try to fight back. A little bit close, no contact made. He has to back out of it. And Taylor is now up to P2.
Beautiful awareness by both of these drivers, being aware of each other, where they at around this track. They know it's in the wet. They know they need to be cautious. They know they can see P1 in their sights. So they can't battle too much, but they can battle just enough.
DXC and Bobina were scrapping out. DXC went down the inside, switched back for Bobina. Bobina almost lost it going at the exit of turn 6, and that moves DXC up into P7. But however, he also has a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. How exactly? Because the track limits are more relaxed in the wet due to the race director kind of advising that the drivers in the track is wet, and was a little bit more lenient in the course of penalties, and still received a 3-second time penalty. So both Taylor and Skeppy, or not Taylor, DXT and Skeppy both have 3-second time penalties, and Bobina right now would grab both of them, I'm pretty sure.
I think Skeppy and Ichigo just found a new rival because Skeppy and Ichigo love to fight each other, but oh my god, this fucking jitter is hit the wall.
Didn't have any damage.
No damage, but he spun out. And undecided pit is going to be right behind him, was looking for a pass.
Decided trying to fight a way around Ginger, trying to switch back a bit. Ginger's tires are going to be a lot overheated, obviously because of the spin, the better traction of the AlphaTauri to the right-hand side. No DRS, obviously because of the intermediate conditions.
Easy
and
pass.
Up to P9 for unsighted.
Easy pass.
So don't look now, but Sweller has actually caught up to the back of Killer's Renault. He's now within 7/10 of P4, and the guys in front of Killer have quite gapped him. 15 seconds is the gap between Mercedes and Killer. So we have pretty much some select groups going on. We have Kaizuto, Taylor, and Mercedes battling for the podium spots.
Skeppy,
Killer and Sweller battling. Yeah, Killer battling for with Sweller for P4. And then obviously DXD, Bobina, Skeppy battling for P6, Unsighted, and Ginger battling for P9. We have so I guess you were kind of right. You said it would be more of like a spread out kind of Le Mans style. Well, you got it.
But Bobina is not actually letting Ichigo out of his sights. I'm loving it from the new driver of Tier 2.
If only the rest of them could. I'm kidding.
No. Finish that.
Nah, I'm not gonna finish it.
Nah. Oh, Mercedes clearly cut that corner, and Taylor gets a 3-second penalty as well. Going too wide on the final turn.
This has turned into a problem. Well, they're not really going to have to worry about Killer from behind due to the gap right now. 15 seconds is the gap between Mercedes and Killer, but obviously those 11 or 12 laps we have can still change a lot of things. Obviously a little bit too spread out, I think, for a major collision to occur. But you never know, as Bobina and DXC are still trying to figure it out. 6/10 is the gap between those two, 7/10. But look at Sweller and Killer. Their gap's pretty close. Killer goes wide through turn 4. He's going to try to fight back now. He got a little bit better traction going through turn 4 than the AlphaTauri of Sweller. Going into turn 6, he's 4/10 ahead. Once again, just stays ahead. Goes a little bit deep, locks up a tad bit. And Sweller's right there again, under 3.5 separates the AlphaTauri and Killer.
I'm noticing some of these guys are actually fighting their cars around corners as Skeppy goes wide on turn 5. These guys are really fighting their cars around these corners to try to get them on the gas, with the most traction. So I don't think any of them have really wet setups going on right now. I think all of them are dry.
That could be the case, obviously, because we saw a lot of guys
DRS
enabled.
Oh my.
It's still raining, but alright.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, this guy looks like he's really breaking up a little bit.
Now this is where it turns into the strategy game. We saw in select races
Taylor's shooting
that
into the
people
pits.
Facetus, Taylor. No, Facetus stays out. Taylor's going to be staying, going on the limits. Is he going to go on to medium? That's what I'm predicting for the racing point. I think the softs just cannot make it these 11 laps. Yes, it is the medium compounded tire. The C3 for Taylor's racing point. If it's, I mean, it's still somewhat raining, so it's going to be a little slick. The inners may have a little bit more pace for about maybe a sector or two before it starts getting a little bit too dry. Facetus is actually fallen off for Kazuto a bit by about 2 seconds the last time we checked. Skeppy and Sweller boxed in as well to the mediums for the Alpha Tauri camp. DXD and Bobina still fighting it out. They both lost a bit from Skeppy, about 2.5 separates the racing point in the Alpha Tauri. But Bobina's still trying to size up DXD. Should go in the, oh, that is actually Facetus.
Oh, man.
It's around. That is turn exit of 7 and a turn 8. I don't think there's any damage. I'm pretty sure he just lost it a bit either on the curb or the grass. And both Unsighted and Ginger have both boxed.
I don't see any damage. I think he's all good.
I don't either. I think that's just a spin. Yeah, it's stopped raining. Track's starting to dry out now. The difficult weather here at China is quite the interesting one indeed. Let's see who can benefit from it. Obviously, Taylor's looking pretty quick already on the back of Killer. Yeah, it's dry. Taylor could actually get a really big jump here. So look at the gap to lead. Gap to lead is about 23.5 seconds. As if it was true from last time, it was about 25. The gap for the pit lane, how much time you lost. Kaizuto's in the Red Bull. He evades the speeding penalty. That is good. We do not want to see anyone speeding into the pit lane. Facetus goes into the pit lane as well. Taylor, he goes past Killer up into P3. But look at this. He's going to jump. He's definitely going to jump Facetus. It's going to be close on Kaizuto. He's on the mediums. Here comes Taylor to the final corner. It's going to be a drag race through going into turn 1.
He has that ERS deployed. He knows he needs to get to this
position.
Got it. He's got it. Racing Point pit has came through. As you see, Bobina, Skeppy, and Ichigo go to the pit as well.
That's going to really benefit Sweller, by the way. He's up to P3. No, he's not. He's closer to P3 than he was.
Closer. But
he's closer.
You know who is close? Kazuto. He's not going to let Taylor out of his sight.
It was a segue in of a half if I've ever seen one.
Whoa. I saw Killer go wide a little bit on turn 1 and 2. Yeah, he gets a little bit debris on his front left tire, yeah.
How?
I don't know. Looked like he went a little too wide.
Is there a brake marker board on the exit of turn 3?
I'm not sure.
How does that even work? The Fly Emirates board, and he's like, "Nah, I don't want any advertisement here. No. I fly American Airlines."
Oh man.
But these two, Bobina and Ishigo, have actually they stayed somewhat close. Bobina kind of fallen off a bit, about 4 tenths, I think, was the gap. How much he's lost about net? It was about net 6 tenths or so. I think it's about 1.1 now, so about 4 or 5 tenths through the pit stop window that he has lost. But now we have a little bit closer of a battle, a little bit more spread out at the same time.
A little bit more spread out, but you know who isn't spread out? These three right here.
Oh my God! Stop segueing into this.
I don't care. These three have stayed with each other this whole race. You cannot deny how much they have really competed with each other throughout China, even though the grid is spread up. Just like, wow. They're really
We talk about Ishigo and Skeppy's rivalry, as we so put it. They're pretty much always next to each other on track, and they may have to do what you said earlier. They may have to add in a third party into that rivalry group, I guess you could say. And Bobina, if it always follows out the way it has, obviously these three battling for P6, both Ishigo and Skeppy both have time penalties. So Bobina will definitely benefit off of that if it keeps it clean in the final 9 laps of this Grand Prix. Still enough time. How much time are they willing to use?
I was just looking into the telemetry. Kazuto has the fastest lap at 34.3, and Taylor will be your driver of the day. As of this point, Taylor will be your driver of the day with 9 spots gained. Just putting that out there.
Kaizuro is actually within a second now. So how will he do? DRS, I think, is enabled. Yes, it is. He has the DRS. The Red Bull Taylor of the fastest lap. Kaizuro goes even faster, 33.1 for the Red Bull. We'll see what he can do. He's now within 5/10, half a second of the car in front. That is being Taylor. Taylor going a bit wide through turn 1. Trying to cut back in. That has lost a lot of time to him. Kaizuro goes a little bit deeper than Taylor does at turn 2 and 3. The gap's now 3.5 tenths trying to go through down into turn 5 and 6.
Not much else is really going on. Just guys keeping within the DRS train of each other if they can.
I'm just saying, the only people in DRS is just these two.
Yep.
That's, Welcome to China, everyone. You see the skies are blue, except they're not, because we had rain. But, you know, rain's good.
Way down the ocean. The sky is bright, big and light. I didn't stop.
Copyright. Copyright. Well, now we have DRS enabled. Taylor already goes defensive right on the exit of turn 13. He's going to go all the way to the right-hand side next to the grass. A little bit of space if Kaizuro dares to pull an Alex Albon. He doesn't. He goes to the left-hand side and safely up and through into P1 once more. Taylor has that 3-second time penalty, though. So, really, if Taylor wants to try to pull away and win this Grand Prix, he has to do it around now.
Or if he can force Kaizuro to get some mistake, because like I said earlier, Kaizuro has been forcing his way around these track limits in the wet, so we can see Taylor getting a little feisty, trying to force Kaizuro to some mistake. Get him on par with that 3-second time penalty.
You say
legally.
You think that Taylor should force
legally,
a mistake as he sets even faster?
Legally.
Legally. Oh, legally, yeah.
Not in the legal movement, like, you know, get a little aggressive, getting a little elbows out.
Taylor, just you know Pastor Maldonado, right?
No,
I heard
no,
that's
no.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. We want to see a great finish, and at the moment, it's looking like it could possibly come that way for the lead at the moment. 6/10. The gap now 7 between Kaizuro and Taylor. Taylor looks falling off a tad bit in the second sector compared to Kaizuro. He's still within the DRS. He now has the activation point about now, that white line, 9/10. So he does still have that drag reduction system. DXD Ishigo actually has caught up to the back of
Taylor gets a little wobbly off the exit of turn 13. He has lost a good amount of time.
Actually, I want to point out something as well. I think this is the first time I've seen Taylor not have, like, half his DRS battery to play with.
Right? You're actually right.
Taylor's... Congrats, Kaizuro, you made him push.
But I've also been watching their sector times. Taylor is faster than Kaizuro in the sector 1. Kaizuro is faster in sector 2. But they're almost on par each other in sector 3. I'm watching the sector times.
You watch the sector times with the guy in front. I'll keep in mind that Skeppy and DXD are also now having a vital. They both dropped off Bobina quite a bit. 2 seconds is the gap between DXD's racing point and Bobina's McLaren. So they possibly could actually pull out of the 3-second gap that separates those two and the position they have right now. But obviously those two have the same amount of time for this. So when it comes to their fight on track, it actually has to be on track.
Or it could be who has the most fuel, because I did see Ichigo have a little yellow icon for his fuel.
Flip from one racing point to the other racing point. Congrats, Racing Point. We'll give you a shout out. You're leading the constructors, and you're giving us the best angles. That's just the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Taylor gets the DRS again activated. He's still a little too far back to make a move on Kaizuro. Yeah, not much to work with.
He can't get close enough.
Yeah, he can't really get
not much
that to work with. They're both still on the same route.
They are. So we can't really defend much, or you can't really attack much. It's just kind of a stalemate between these two. We possibly could see a battle between Ichigo and Skeppy now. Let's go from one Racing Point camera to the other Racing Point camera. Here we go again. Maybe. There we are. Oh, he's closer this time. DXD, he's going to try to go for the move. He pulls out to the right. He goes late on the brakes, locks up both front tires to the inside of turn 14 through 15. A little bit of traction that goes to the Alfa Romeo's favor, and DXD will have to kind of concede the position and fight again another day. DXD will now have to try to fight back again. DRS and ERS deployed. He goes to the right-hand side of Skeppy into turn 1. Contact between those two. Contact again. Keep it clean, boys.
Getting a little feisty with each other. The viewers love it.
Boys,
But
help.
come on now.
Elbow's been deployed.
But as they fight, Bobina is actually catching up a little bit. So they need to be mindful. They still have 3-second penalties hanging over their heads. As Taylor Clan still cannot kill against another 3-second time penalty, but Taylor Clan cannot get a look on Kazuto on the back straight.
Just too far back. Because, I mean, obviously, Kazuto, you said the sector times, right?
Yeah.
You said Taylor was better sector 1, and Kazuto was better sector 2.
Yeah.
So, in order to be better in sector 2, or in order to be better in sector 3, you need to be quick enough in sector 2 to have the momentum.
And that falls into Kazuto.
Oh, look at Skeppy late on the brakes. That was a great move. Going to daring move for the Alfa Romeo, but looks it's just not working enough. DXD gets better traction and stays ahead into P6. It was a little bit deep though. Trying to fight it back. Skeppy's going to have DRS once more. Can he repay the favor? A lap ago. Bobina is now in the fight with these two. Trying again. Skeppy around the outside of turn 1. Can't get it. DXD tries to do a little bit of a parking bus maneuver. Trying to make sure he cannot get past. Oh, I had an accident there.
Hey, last time it was my turn to hold these two. Hey, this time it's your turn. As Skeppy is looking around the outside of Ichigo again, going for the switchback, but he doesn't have traction to get it done. Bobina is sorely gonna creep up behind these two as they keep fighting, going side by side through these corners. Ichigo is going to widen to the turns a little bit. Skeppy is getting some good looks, but he cannot capitalize on them. As Taylor looking a little closer than he was last time on Kazuto.
I saw that. I was kind of noticing that. I don't think it's going to be close enough, but if he can try to hold on to this gap, he could possibly challenge going into the braking zone of turn 14 once more. Or maybe even turn 6 if he can continue the fight.
Maybe. He is quicker in second 1. But Kazuto gets a better exit this time.
Yeah, keep in mind, I think Taylor stopped 1 lap before Kazuto. So, Kazuto's tires may be a little bit better in terms of tire wear than Taylor's. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. That's not, speaking of problems, that's not going to be good.
That's
another
not good.
3, so that now puts the order between these 3 being Bobina and DXD. Skeppy, due to the time penalties. Skeppy have 6, DXD with 3. Bobina trying to look for a move, was really close in the exit, or in the entrance of 1. See how they go, but onto the back straightaway now for these two. 9 tenths, 8 tenths. It's about where it was. Now 7 tenths, actually. We could possibly see a move here. Yeah, Taylor's been saving up a little bit more ERS.
I don't think it's close enough still.
2.5 laps. I don't know.
Unless he pulls off a dive.
He might be close enough, but
I
think if he can get this into turn 1.
Ooh, gets a little wobbly.
Driver's a little struggling for traction. Throwing it into the final corner. Look at that. They're 3 tenths of a second. This is where Taylor can definitely try to go to deploys a lot of his battery to stay ahead of the Racing Point. And going into turn 1, he has 2 more laps to hold on and try to go back-to-back at basically races he's attended, as he didn't attend Hanoi. But Taylor is once again fighting for a 3rd consecutive podium. He needs to get a move on now if he wants a shot at this race win.
On the
or
reverse strategy.
it's Kazuto to get time penalty. Skeppy, look at these three. DXT's off the track. Oh, Skeppy's a little bit oversteery, and Bobino's going to get both of them. He keeps his nose in. Skeppy's pitting. That's, I don't know why.
Fastest lap. Nah, he won't. I don't think he will get it. Yeah, he will get it.
Good. Now it's a battle between. It's now we're down to 2. Bobina and DXD battling for the 6th position. Unsighted Port will get past Skeppy, who does. He's changing his front wing.
Oh, did he get front wing damage?
Guessing he did get front wing damage.
Oh man.
On these two once more. We have 1.5 more times around this straight. It's just not close enough.
He thought about it though. I can tell Taylor thought about it.
Mistake. Just gets better traction. Here we go for the final lap of round 3 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship at Shanghai. We have 2 drivers battling for the Grand Prix win. One has a 3-second time penalty, so on track it will probably end up going to Kazuto regardless. But who cares about who cares about after the fact with penalties? You want to win on track. That's what Taylor needs to try to do. He has 0.4 of a second to do it.
Bobina has DRS enabled. She's looking inside. Oh, Ichigo with a late move going to the inside. Bobina late on the brakes. Gets the switch back, but doesn't have the traction to go through. Ichigo looking a little low in DRS though. So Bobina's gonna get DRS again on this front straight. Can Bobina get the move done? Ichigo moves again to the inside. Bobina around the outside. They're still side by side. Bobina is still out there. Ichigo is on the curve trying to keep the track position. Bobina goes to the inside. Bobina gets the move done into P6. Good move by McLaren to get past Ichigo.
One more time though. This is Taylor's final shot, and I don't think he's close enough.
He's too far. It's not enough. He's too
far back. 0.8. It's just not close enough. He needs more time. He needs more ERS. He needs more tire grip, but that's something he won't get because, in truth, Taylor only has 1 more corner. Like in Bahrain, it's been quite a showing from Kazuto. From half the grid into the lead, into the win of the Chinese Grand Prix. Kazuto wins in Tier 2. Taylor will grab a 3rd consecutive podium. This time, it's no longer a P3, it's a P2. I think Kazuto will actually grab the championship lead. Facedas, he got P10 twice in a row. We'll take that no longer. He's P3, gets a podium in Tier 2. Sweller with P4, another great finish for the AlphaTauri team. Killer, he's coming around turn 14 now in the Renault. It's been quite an up and down day for him, but I think he would take it. P5 for the Renault team as the only one flying the flag. They took a really good finish last week with Saxman's winning. Now it's Killer's turn. He grabs P5 in the Chinese Grand Prix. McLaren, they got a good finish last time. DXT got a 3-second time penalty at the final corner, but he still finishes P7. Bobina in his debut start will get P6. DXT P7, unsighted port. It's been what could have been for the AlphaTauri. Spun from first position. He finishes P8. Skeppy, he's on the softs. Can he try to get fastest lap? See, Kazuto has it at the moment. It's a 32.751 on the medium compounded tire on the final corner for the Alfa Romeo of Skeppy. Is it going to be enough?
And
yes, it is. 32.0. And Smoking Ginger will come across the line to take the last points finish, but he actually jumps ahead of Skeppy. So Skeppy will grab 2 points, the fastest lap, and 10th place.
Taylor, of course, is your driver today once again.
Again. Max.
Oh my god.
So, pretty much like it was about 2 weeks ago, we have a Red Bull on the top step at the podium and a Racing Point within the graphs in the podium as well. This time, instead of the 3rd step, it's the 2nd step with Kazuto leading ahead of Taylor with Facedas P3. What a finish, what a race. It's been quite an up and down one. As Echo put it earlier, it could be a Le Mans style race. It was. But it also had excitement. We went from dry to wet to dry. Excitement. And a lot of action throughout. But now, the track's over, isn't it? It's time to see what the drivers think. But for the final time, the unofficial results for BRL Tier 2 at China for the round 3. The Chinese Grand Prix, Xin Kaizudo wins in the Red Bull. That is 2 out of 2 for the races he started, and that is 2 Grand Prix victories to his name. Taylor Clan, P2, he keeps the streak of podiums alive. He gets P2 once again. His now string is third, second. Facedas grabs P3, and a podium for the Williams team that was going in had tied for 9th. Sweller gets P4, Killer P5. Mobina on the debut start for the McLaren driver replacing Q-Man will grab P6 and a good points finish for them. DX Ishigo, P7. That's definitely an improvement from 1 season ago where he finished last. That's some points for him. Unsighted point was the pole sitter, but just had an unfortunate turn of events happen. He's P8, Ginger P9, Skeppy grabbed the fastest lap, 2.0, and finishes P10.
Alrighty, people. Please stay tuned for the driver interviews. As we have Mercedes and Taylor in here, we're going to get Sinkazu. Does he have a mic and can he get in here? Let's see. Just so Sinkazu has issues with the chest, so we will have to miss our race winner. But, Mercedes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Am I saying it right? Right? Mercedes?
Yes.
Yeah, we tried 3 weeks in a row.
Zeta.
We were close.
Okay. So
We had an entire how many? We had 15 minutes.
Williams, you haven't had too much luck in the first 2 rounds. You finally got your first podium of this season. How do you feel about your race in China?
Yeah, actually great. China is one of my favorite circuits in this game and in F1 too. So I try to practice as long as I could, and no, it worked for me. You know, well, we were 10, but I feel actually really good in the track.
Okay. And what do you think about Holland for your next track? Do you think you're gonna do well there, or do you think you can get some solid points again for Williams, or will we see you continue for first win?
I'm gonna try to get some points. Actually, that's not a track I feel really good, but I try to do something, you know.
Okay. Would you like to say anything in your native language for all the viewers out there?
Saludo a Chile, un saludo para CRS, un aguante para todos los caros.
Thank you for saying this. Well, Facetas for joining us.
Yeah.
Congratulations on P3, man. Taylor, again, your reverse strategy has worked out in your favor. 3rd consecutive podium in this season. How do you feel?
I didn't feel too confident coming in, to be honest. Kind of had to hope for the rain, which it surprisingly came, but not for long. So, race was good, kept out of trouble. I expected the rain to stay off a little longer, but it came, was it lap 11? So, I'd like it to stay out longer, because all medium runners would have had to pit, and then I would have had a good shot. So, not bad. Not looking forward to next week. So,
Well, either way it goes, your reverse strategy has paid off once again. Congratulations on the P2, Taylor Clark. Gotcha. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, your last season's race winner of China going in. What do you mean you weren't confident? Kidding me?
I don't know. I went on TT and couldn't get anything lower than a 29.5.
I don't want to hear it.
What? We were practicing at 3 in the morning last night.
And that's your problem, right there.
Look,
3 in the morning.
I stayed up till 6 in the morning.
Also your problem. Anyway. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Race winner.
The race winner is not actually here.
Which, unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But we're going to have to wrap up because soon there's going to be tier 1, right? Correct?
Yeah, I get to race.
Yeah. So, tune in for the next team of Tier 1, Katra, your host, will be actually racing China. So go out and support him to see where he will come up. Will he bail and come up in not in points, or will he actually get in the points? Tune in later for Tier 1 BRL. This is Katra, and this is Echo X3 signing off. Thank you for joining.
But wait, there's more. Don't forget to tune in also to the Tier 5 and Tier 6 streams on Monday. As well, I believe it is 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern, respectively. But like Echo said, as for everyone else, for me, Echo, Taylor, Faceras, unfortunately, Sinkazudo couldn't be here. But for everyone else in the booth, and from everyone else in Tier 2 Championship, we are signing off for China. We'll see you in Holland. See you later, guys.